Hello everyone, welcome to my 2020 tutorial series on painting skin weights and how to skin your model correctly. So this is a model we worked on for quite a while. We had our construction worker model series, you guys have probably walked through all of that, and we went through our character rigging series and you guys have probably also walked through that. But if you have not, you can walk through those and then jump into the skinning weighting portion yourself, or if you have your own model, you can just go ahead and take basically what we're doing here and apply it to your own rig and model. Okay, so first let's talk about skinning our model to our rig. So we're going to select our model, and right now I currently have mine on reference. Let's go ahead and turn it off reference. Click on our model here. I want to shift select the root joint, that way we have that as our starting point. Sometimes, and before I actually get into an explanation, let's just go into where the skinning options are. So there's a drop down underneath rigging called skin, and then I'll go ahead and explain. So we have bind skin. Let's go open the submenu for that. So we have, make sure that it's saying the reset joint hierarchy. So basically by selecting the joint down here, it'll also take the rest of the joint hierarchy and then skin all the geometry based in relation to each joint to the geometry surrounding it on a fall off radius. So bind method is classic distance. That's what we want, classic linear. Interactive for normal weights, which means we can paint the weights on it. And then weight distribution is by distance, and then the max influence is at 5. So that's all good. Fall off rate at 4. This is pretty much what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and hit bind skin, and then I'm going to also, before I get into the weighting portion, explain that there are some other options if you are having some issues with this kind of weight painting. They also have an interactive bind skin, which gives you basically these pills that allows you to decide where the influence is on your model. The one problem with if you've never binded skin before doing this method is you can accidentally at times make it to where there's not enough weight in certain areas and then the model doesn't behave very well at all. But by doing this interactive paint weight, sometimes they'll make it to where areas that are having trouble get eliminated right away, and you can kind of visually see where the influence is coming from. So this is also one I would say you can go ahead and play with, but I'm going to probably end up coming back and teaching this in a more advanced later lesson. So bind skin is the by default what you should go with. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we have. So we have our hands here. Let's go ahead and just test one out and see if it worked properly. Okay, so that's going good, but already you can see where there's issues, and this is why we're going to learn how to paint weights. So you can see how like down here, as I'm pulling this up, it's making it to where all this down here is coming as well. Same thing on this side. I imagine if I went ahead and pulled this, yep, same thing. Let's see about the head. So if I take the head and I have it go forward, oh my goodness, let's not do that. Turning the head, you can see that it's got issues like that as well. How about the chest? Okay, so the chest actually doesn't look too bad. Actually, kind of think that's kind of cool. Same thing with the abs. Let's see about that one. Yep, very cool. A little weird pelvic thrust thing going on there, side to side. Okay, hips aren't too bad. Let's see about the feet. So if we move the feet forward, not too bad either. How about if we pick it up? Not too bad. We're just getting some influence over here. It's coming from over here. So you see how when I push it back here, how it's twisting like that. What's happening is the pull vector right here is going past the straight line, which makes it to where now it's flipping. So that's one thing that we'll want to make sure that we don't have happen while we're animating. Okay. So now we can see where some of the things are that we need to fix. Let's go ahead and just jump in and see how we're going to fix them. Usually I like to start from the top and kind of work down. So let's just go ahead and work with the face first. Now typically when we have a face rig, this is actually probably the last thing you want to do because the face is going to be very involved. When we do our more advanced rig series where we have a face rig in place where there's joints inside the face we have to work with, we're going to probably end up reskinning this part here. But for now, since everything is basically influenced down to one joint, we can go ahead and work with this relatively easily. So to be able to see what the problem is and then see if what we're working on actually is helping or hurting the current model we're working with, we're going to need to create some animation so we can then apply the weights and then decide if what we're doing is working. So to start with, I'm going to select this control here and on frame 1. I'll press S, which will add a keyframe to my control here. So on frame 1, you can see there's now a red line and all the channel boxes are red out. So now what I'm going to do is on frame 20, I'm going to rotate it one way and I'll press S. And actually what's even easier if you guys are very accustomed to animation, is making sure that this icon over here is activated. What this will do is it'll make it to where adds keyframes as you're moving it on something that's already been keyed. So if I click this icon here and then I go to frame 40, rather than having to hit S again, as soon as I move it going this way, you'll see that another keyframe has already popped up here and when added that in there. So that just makes it to where animation-wise that things go faster. Just if you've never animated before, this will make it to where it's kind of frustrating because you can accidentally move something and then override your own keyframes without knowing that you did it. So if you're not comfortable with animation, just hit S and just keyframe in certain movements. That way you know you put the keyframe in there. If you're comfortable with this, it'll make it to where your workflow goes faster though. Okay, so let's go ahead and test it. So see where the issues are. Turns that way, not good. Okay. Let's go ahead and go back to frame 1, and now we can get into the paint weights options. So underneath skin, you'll see there is a paint skin weights tool. Let's go ahead and open the submenu for this one. Oh, that's a little bit too big. Let's tear that off and we'll shrink it down. There we go. All right. And before we get into here, we also need to click the piece of geometry so it knows that's what we're going to be painting on. There we go. And now we need to tell it which joint we want to isolate. Now you can come over here and you can find the joint you want, but you can also, I'm going to hold down B and shrink my radius down. So B, left mouse button drag, makes your radius for painting the weights grow up and down. So if I want this joint right here, I could go find it over here, or I can just right mouse button click and go to select influence. Okay. Also, it's worth noting that right now everything's unlocked, which means that as I paint the weights, it's going to redistribute the weights elsewhere. Or if I add weights, it'll take it from elsewhere and redistribute them over here. So if you want to lock areas out to where you don't have weights redistributing in other spots, this is how you would do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure that the weights over here are what I want. So I do want this to basically have all the influence. So as I'm turning the head, that it doesn't twist and deform at all, right? So where it says opacity and value, I have these set to 1 already, which means that that's maximum. And I already have it set to paint, and I have it set to paint operations on replace, which means it's not going to add 1 to it. It's just going to replace whatever it is and set it to 1. Okay, so now I'm going to make this radius a little bigger. I'm just going to go over all of the head here and make sure that this is all painted at 1. Okay. Now there is some issues that we're going to run into, and the reason why is because we might not be able to select all the geometry due to the fact that we have, like, you know, pieces of clothing and stuff like that on here, but we'll see what we can get. We're going to do our best. If we can't get all of it, I do have a plan B on how we can get to some of it. I actually have a plan B and C. For those that know me, I always have multiple ways of getting things done. Okay, let's also get underneath the chin a little bit. Okay, and then the rest of it here, I'll just hold down Shift, and this will smooth out, basically average the geometry or the weight painting to these other areas. Okay, so now let's see. Oh, looks like I might have missed a spot right there by the ear. There we go. Let's see if I got everything. I'm going to go ahead and test my animation. So if I come down here and scrub along here, I'll be able to see what worked and what didn't. So if I move it this way, I can see where the problems are. So it looks like the problems that I'm seeing on the front are in the nose. But let's look at the top as well and see if there's anything else poking out that's not supposed to. So it looks like most everything is okay. I think the main problem is in the nose, right? Okay. So then what I can do is where the nose is poking out right here, I can just go ahead and pick out where the animation is that I can see it, and then go ahead and hit it again. Okay, let's go back the other way and see if anything else pokes out. So I got a little bit right there poked out. Oh, got a little bit behind the ears I missed. Okay. Anything else? Nope, that all looks pretty good. Okay, I will consider the head is done for now. We might end up having to go back and do some retouches, but for now, I'm gonna call it good. Okay, let's go down to the next area, and let's go ahead, and you can leave this animation on if you want, or you can take it off. It's up to you. I'm gonna leave it on for now, just because taking it off doesn't really serve any kind of purpose. If it gets in the way of some other animation, then I'll go ahead and fix it. All right, so next let's look at this arm on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead, come down here, hit S on frame 1, and I'm gonna go to frame 20, and now I'm gonna move the arm way up. I'm gonna move it over here, out. I'm gonna rotate it. Oh yes, I'm breaking it good. Just like that. And while I'm at it, I may as well, yeah, we'll leave it alone. I was gonna say I would do the other side too. Well, yeah, why not? We'll do the other side too. The reason why I was hesitant about doing the other side is because we can actually mirror the skin weights, but by doing the animation on both sides, it'll make it to where when I mirror them, we'll be able to see right away that the mirror actually worked as well. All right, let's go back over here for this hand. Oh wait, what did I just click on? Let's undo that. I think I might have, yeah, I accidentally keyframed the geometry, which is something we don't want to do. Okay. And we'll move this up. Rotate. Oh wait, about to override. Have to be on frame 20. Now I can move it up. And rotate it out. Okay, there we go. And since I had auto keyframe on, you can see there's already a keyframe there. So now we can be like, all right, yep, that is problematic. Let's get in there and fix it. Okay, so selecting our model, open our skin weights tool again. There we go. All right, so let's figure out which joint's causing the bigger issues. So I imagine that all these joints down here are causing issues down here, right? So let's go ahead and start with this one. We're going to select influence on this guy. And sure enough, you can see that this white down here, that's coming from this joint right here, which should not be, right? We shouldn't be getting any influence over here. So let's go to replace, and we're going to move this actually from opacity of, where we want the opacity to be at 1, but we want the value to be at 0. Okay, so that means that maximum weight, but the value that we're replacing it with is nothing. So we'll be able to come over here and say, all this here shouldn't have any weight on. Let's just take this all off. Okay, same thing over here, get rid of all of this. There's probably some on the inside as well. Make sure we get down inside there and get it all out. Okay, there we are. And we also don't need any weight on the butt either. That doesn't make any sense. The wrist doesn't affect the butt, at least not this way. Okay, let's also get a little bit off this screw right here. Okay, let's go up again. Let's check out the next joint up. So this one here. So I'm just going to right mouse button, go to select influence. Oh yes, so you can see how this joint here is also affecting down here. So we also want to make sure that this doesn't come out as well. So let's go ahead and also lock out the wrist. That makes it to where as I'm painting this way, it doesn't try bleeding back down here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and lock out. Let's zero all this out here. So definitely on the belt, I don't want anything. Definitely don't need it down here in the butt either, just like the wrist. Okay, probably don't need it up here in the back either. Okay, leave a little bit of influence right in here, maybe. We got a little bit of pull there. Let's test that out and see how that looks. Okay. So you see how at frame 20 it's still coming out way over here. And you see that there's influence on this guy. So let's just go ahead and paint this away. Keep those treble ones in there. Yes, it still looks kind of broken, and the reason why is because we're also getting it from the fingers. So yeah, this will be a little bit of a tedious process. Okay, so that's okay. Now that we got those two done, those were the major culprits. Now we gotta get down to the fingers, and that will help us get rid of some of this. So we're gonna go down to the fingers. So wrist. Oh, there we go. There's one of the bigger culprits. Let's make sure that can't go up the forearm. Those are locked. Those lock all the way up the arm. Okay, so that fixes that, but imagine we still have, we'll lock out that last finger. We're starting to get a little bit better here. Let's see if there's anything else in the next one. So there is alternatively a secondary way we can do this that might be a little less tedious, but it goes into something that some of you might actually hate. It's just because it looks more like a spreadsheet. I'm going to do this last one here, and then I'll show you guys the other option here. Let's go and get rid of this as well. Okay, so there's this method. But you see there's still an issue here, which means that they're still getting influences probably from this one here, or maybe I'm not really even sure. But let's look at the other option here. Let's go to Windows, General Editors, and let's see here, Component Editor. Okay. Like I said, some people love this, some people will hate this, but regardless, let's go ahead and take a look at it. So we're going to select the vertexes that are causing some issues, which are these ones here, and let's just say all of these right in here. Let's turn off joints so they're not in the way. There we go. We'll select all these vertexes right in here. Okay, so inside the component editor, we can now navigate over to where we actually have smooth skins, which tells us which joints are associated to these particular vertexes we have picked, which are all outlined right here. Okay, so we don't need to really pick now as far as what these things go to. We just want to eliminate what they go to. So do these vertexes go to the ankle? They might, so let's not mess with that one right now. Left arm? Probably not. So let's see if there's any values at the bottom down here. I don't see any, so these are guys pretty much all zeroed out. Didn't see anything on here. Forearm, yeah, probably not in the forearm either. So let's just go ahead and remove these ones. So if I go up here, press 0, and actually let's go ahead and, since it's highlighted here, and I go all the way down to the bottom, hold down Shift, left mouse button click, put 0 here, it'll remove all the influence for that particular joint. So this one, all these vertexes are not getting anything from the left forearm anymore. How about left arm? Let's go ahead and just 0 that one out as well. So let's go down to the bottom, press 0, boom, it's gone as well. Bone hips, yeah, probably getting influence from the hips. Let's not screw with that one. Bone index left, that is one of the fingers. We don't need that. Let's go ahead and just 0 that one off. So press Shift, 0'd out. Joint 6, that is probably one of the finger joints because we didn't name the finger joints. Let's just 0 all those out. 0 that out. Zeroed that out. You can see things are popping back into place now. Joint 8, that's also a finger. Let's go ahead and zero that out. Left knee, yeah, we're not going to be screwing around with the left knee. Let's keep going. Right knee, nope. Left leg, nope. Right leg, nope. BN middle left. Not sure what that one is. Might have to look that one up. But let's pass that one over and let's look at joint 6 because we know that one's got to be a finger. Let's go down the bottom. Let's zero that out. Boom. Let's go to joint 7. Just zero it all out. There we go. Let's keep going. Joint 8. Just zeroing all this stuff out. This one as well. Let's keep on going. Right leg, middle left, pinky left. Let's go ahead and, oh, middle left, that is middle finger. Zero that out. All right, let's keep going. Knee right, leg left, pinky left. Okay, ring left. Let's see if we can just come down to the bottom over here. Yep, zero both those out at the same time. That's good. Speed up our workflow a little bit. Spine, that's all good. Thumb, nope. Let's get rid of all those ones. Looks like joint 4. Yep, get rid of the wrist. Not the root though. So we're gonna go down to the bottom wrist left. Zero all that out. That did a lot of work for us. Let's keep going. Thumb left. That one needs to go. BN leg right. Okay, so we don't need this ring 1. Zero that out. All right. Okay. Is there anything else we're missing here? Getting influence from something still. We have ankle, hips, knee, leg, spine, BN root. Okay, so that should be all of it. Let's see what's going on here. Maybe it's some vertexes we don't have selected. That's quite possibly what's going on here. Oops. Let's isolate this one here. That's not what I meant to do. I know we're running a little bit long, but I do want to just finish up this one spot here that's being problematic. Okay, so let's go back to our component editor. Windows, general editors, component editor, and let's figure out which one we're getting some pull from. So yeah, we're still getting some from the left forearm. Let's go ahead and make sure that's zeroed out. Index, zeroed out. These 3 joints, zeroed out. That's it. It's fixed a little bit. Okay, I got those ones. Looks like there we go, got a little more of them. The thumb is in there. Oh, there we go. That was it. Okay. All right, so this whole little side right here, that's all good. Let's go ahead and go back and we'll save here. We're at 23 minutes now, 25 minutes now. So we're going to save here. Actually, let's save it as a new scene now. Save scene as. We were working as rigging. Let's go ahead and name this one as weight painting. Okay, so we got the head, we got one of the arms, we got this chunk down here, and most of the side here. There's still a little bit in here we have to work out, but we got a chunk done. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next lesson.